Namo Doi Sauridantanam, Namo Doi Sauridanam, Namo Doi Saurayiriyanam, Namo Doi Saujayanam, Namo Doi Sautridalavati Savanam, Omkaramindu Sanyupantyam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Che Omkaraya Namo Namo, Manganam Bhagavan Viro Manganam Gautamurni, Mangalam Kunkundari Ujendram Bosu Mangalam Namasamarisadani. Swanubhutya Chakasti Chiksavai Bhavaya Sarvana Vibhav Niyutanidata.
Namo Arantam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryanam, Namo Ujjanam, Namo Loya Savasanam, Yasupanchanam Karo, Savapava Pranasam, Manglalanta Savasing Padam Havanam, Om Karam Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhyanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksdam Chaiva Om Karaya Namo Nama. Namo Samaysaraya Swanu Bhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Ne Tirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangaryotene Namo Te Sri Kundya Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dhvani Divan Jina Kunda Dhvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamele Sarve Siddhane Vandi Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Mo Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darsanamaya Kare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nathi Are Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo. Okay, so what we are doing right now is we are at the first stanza. So let me just put this thing on first stanza here, slideshow. So we'll sing this stanza and thereafter we'll just go to where we were, you know. Siddhi Dhruva Machala Manoramam Gadimpatte Vochami Samaya Pauda Namo Sudha Kevali Bhanidam Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vandi Asamaya Prabhrata Aho. So here we are in the first stanza. That basically in the first stanza, this is the Mangalacharan that is written by Kunkun Swami at the beginning of the scripture Samaysar. What he says that we have gone through last two lectures in basically in which he says Dhruva Achal Anupam Gati Pamil Sarve Siddhane Sarve Siddha Bhagwan. All this infinite liberated soul, they are with a Dhru means they are having a permanency, Achal means immutable, and Anupam means this is the incomparable. That kind of realms of existence this the Bhagwan has achieved. Vandi Kahu Sutta Kevali Bhasit. I bow down to them. I put them into my heart. You can sit down over here. I bow down to them. You put them in. I put them in my heart. And Sutta Kevali. There are two meanings of the word Sutta Kevali. Sutta Kevali means Srut and Kevali. Kevali means omniscient Lord, and Sutta Kevali is the Bhagwan's first disciple, like Gautam Gandhar for Mahavir Swami and everybody. So all this Gandhar Bhagwan and everybody, those who have total knowledge of all the scripture, they are called Sutta Kevali also. So Sutta Kevali has two meanings. Sutta Kevali means the Gandhar Bhagwan, and Kevali means omniscient Lord. So I bow down to both of them because they have they have talked about this Samaysar, and that Samaysar, with my experience, I'm going to tell to the listener. So that's what Mangalacharan, the Kunkun Swami makes it. The very first line that we have, first two lines that we are seeing over here, this is the originally that he wrote down, those two lines. And these are the second two lines are the Sanskrit version that Amrit Chandra Acharya wrote down. And these are the Gujarati lines that is a Gujarati translation of the Samaysar Gatha. So having said that, we'll be going to the slide number 20. And before we go there, we also have last week we did some discussion, and that discussion also was not complete because our time was coming up and everything. So let's see, let me just bring the slide number 20 first over here. These are all the things we have done so far. So echo effect is done. Okay, Paribhasan. We are going to start from Paribhasan. Yeah. So what we are talking, last week we are talking about Vikalp, means reflective thoughts. We went in great detail about reflective thoughts. That reflective thought means actually two meanings of Vikalp, the two meanings of reflective thoughts. One meaning is the one which we discussed last time, that Vikalp is a knowledge. It's a mode of the knowledge attribute. Now, what happens with this knowledge at a mode? That when knowledge mode gets associated with the altered mode of the conduct attribute. Remember, there are three main attributes we are talking: Gnan, Darshan, Charitra. Knowledge, faith, and conduct. Three attributes mainly we are talking. These three attributes, they have their own modes, could be in the altered form also. Knowledge's altered mode is called ignorance. Faith attributes altered mode is called wrong, mithyatva, and conduct attributes the altered mode is called wrong conduct. So wrong conduct includes rag, dvesh, and moh. Moh means infatuation. Rag and dvesh means inclination, attachment, and aversion. So infatuation, inclination of attachment, and aversion, those three things, when they are associated with the knowledge mode, then it is called altered mode of the knowledge. And so what we want to do is Vikalp. That is called Vikalp. When the knowledge mode gets associated with the altered mode of the conduct attribute, જ્ઞાનની પર્યાય ચારિત્ર ગુણની પર્યાય સાથે સંબંધમાં આવે, then it is called Vikalp. So what Gunsthanak I mean? I'm in first Gunsthanak. So for that thing, I have the infatuation. At the same time, I also have rag and dvesh. So I have whatever thinking I do right now is called Vikalp, because it is associated with the infatuation and inclination of attachment and aversion. On fourth Gunsthanak, what happens? That Anantanubandhi Kashai is gone. The infinite bondage producing passions are gone. So that much infatuation part is gone. That much inclination of attachment is gone. That means there are four types of kashai, four types of passions that we'll be talking sometimes in the future. That is Anantanambandhi Kashai, or Pratyakhyani Kashai, Sanjvalan Kashai. So out of 4, the first one is gone. The infinite bondage producing passion is gone. That means that much rag is gone. That means knowledge is that much pure. That means that much knowledge is called nirvikalp knowledge. When the soul comes, when the living being comes in the 5th gunsthanak, then second part of passion is also gone. Then that much more nirvikalp knowledge, we can just say, in the muni in the stage of monks, the 3rd section of the passions are gone, and that means that much purity, that means that much nirvikalp knowledge is there. That means that is primary abstract comprehension is there. And on the 12th gunsthanak, when all the passions are gone, then it's called passionless, complete, pure knowledge, nirvikalp knowledge. This is the definition from rag perspective. This is a definition from inclination of attachment perspective. So that's the one side. Now, second side, when we talked about, it's a gnanatmak vikalp. First one we talked is called ragatmak vikalp. Ragatmak vikalp means the vikalp, reflective thoughts associated with the inclination of attachment and aversion. Now, gnanatmak vikalp means what? The knowledge itself has a capacity to know by specific example. When I say that where do I live? I live in USA. It's a generalized statement. That's called darshan. That's called perception. Now, when I say that in the USA, there are 50 states are there, out of which one state in the southwest is called Arizona. And Arizona has multiple cities are there. The capital city is called Phoenix. In the Phoenix, there's a area of the Phoenix called North Phoenix. On the North Phoenix, so those are the divisions when I'm making, that is called Gnan. So knowledge always knows with division. So that is the knowledge itself has a capacity to know by divisions only, by specific way only. And that's why that knowledge is called vikalp. That knowledge is called reflective thoughts. So that knowledge will always be there in any condition. So when I'm in the 4th gunsthanak and I get the experience of my soul, or I'm in the 5th gunsthanak getting experience of the soul, 7th gunsthanak I'm getting experience of the soul, 12th gunsthanak and 13th gunsthanak and Siddha Bhagwan. When I'm at those states, then I have my knowledge is purified, my knowledge is within myself, and at that time when my knowledge is within myself, that is called reflective knowledge, which is called vikalp knowledge, savikalp knowledge. So vikalp has a 2 meaning. One, as we say, detailed discussion about knowledge associated with rag and dvesh, and second thing, knowledge itself has a vikalp tendency, means it has a capacity to divide and know, and that's why it's called vikalp. So having said that, we will be going next one over here.
Kirit, can I ask a question?
Yes, beta.
You had said when Gnan Paryay Sambandh Charitra Gun
Yes.
Ni Paryay Ni Sambandh. What does that mean? 2 Paryais having Sambandh? I don't understand.
No, because remember, the one paryay is one, right? In one samay there is one paryay, right? But in that paryay, if you can dissect that paryay, for example, theoretically, then that paryay will be having representation of all the infinite attributes present in the soul. Right. Soul has an infinite attribute, and all those infinite attributes will be represented with that one paryay. So one paryay, if you keep on dissecting, they are called avibhag pratikched. They are called the inseparable divisions of the mode, which will include a mode from each and every attribute present in the soul. And how many attributes are there? As we talked before, infinite attributes are there. And that's why all those infinite attributes are giving their modes in one mode only, in one paryay only. So in that paryay, now I have a knowledge attributes mode present, and conduct attributes mode is also present. Now, if there is a purity of conduct attribute, then this knowledge is called that much nirvikal. Did you get it?
You cut out at the end. If there is purity in the conduct attribute, the knowledge is called what?
The knowledge mode and conduct mode, they both are here right now in one mode alone, in an indivisible form, right?
Right.
Now, if this conduct attribute mode is purified at fourth gunsthanak, fifth gunsthanak, sixth gunsthanak, 10th gunsthanak, 12th gunsthanak, 13, 14, and Siddha Bhagwan, then this conduct attribute, whatever purity is in a conduct attribute, this knowledge is called that much nirvikal.
Okay.
Right? That is from the conduct attribute perspective. But when we go within, the knowledge itself knows by divisions. For example, Siddha Bhagwan knows the whole universe. So what happened? He knows the whole universe, past, present, future modes of all the substances. How many things he has seen? How many things he's perceiving? Infinite amount of things he's perceiving. He will perceiving with the divisions, because that's a capacity, the knowledge to know by division only, by specific form. So that's called also vikalpatmak knowledge. That is called reflective thought of the knowledge also. So vikalp word will come two different places. That's what the point is over here, that when we know the scriptures, this kind of words will come off and on, that we should be familiarized with that, okay? Now, when we are over here, what he says, that Kunkun Swami says, that now I'm going to give you the detail about Samaysar. What he says, I'm going to give you paribhashan. Paribhashan means there are two words in paribhashan. Pari means from all the angles, and bhashan means to describe. So to describe the fact from all the angle is called paribhashan. To describe with the appropriate words, where and when they belong, is called paribhashan. Remember, Kunkun Swami said that Bhagwan, Kevali Bhagwan experience, and Kevali Bhagwan with his Keval Gnan gave the discourses, which Kunkun Swami says, I went to Madhya Kshetra and I heard Simandar Swami for 8 days. Whenever Bhagwan's Deshna is going on, when Bhagwan's Omkar Dhanvi is going on, when Bhagwan's Divya Dhvani is going on, when Bhagwan's divine sound is going on, those are 4 times in a day. Kunkun Swami said, I listened to them, and remaining time he discussed lots of questions with the Sut Kevali, means a Gandhar Bhagwan, etc. First disciple of the Bhagwans, etc. He discussed those things, and by having all the things, then he came back to Bharakshetra back, and then he started writing this with his own experience. So this is called paribhashan, means whatever Kevali Bhagwan has said, whatever I heard, whatever I understood, and whatever I experienced. With my experience now, I'm writing this thing, and that's why it's called paribhashan. Now, author takes place to describe the eternal true nature of the soul that is paribhashan. Now, let's see what here it says. I have to move this part here. The fifth realm of existence, the liberated state. Now, what is the liberated state means? What is the Siddha Gati that we have to talk about? Author talks about nature of the liberated state. Number 1, liberated souls are established in his as well as listener's mode. Means Kunkun Swami says, all this infinite Siddha Bhagwan, I put it into myself. At the same time, I also establish Siddha Bhagwan in listeners' modes also. What does it mean? That means I am putting my utmost concentration, knowing that the liberated souls are within me. So now I'm not having wavering of the mind, and I'm going to have a straightforward mind just to describe exactly whatever I know, whatever I experience. One who contemplates on the true nature of the eternal soul and meditates on its nature. So by knowing the true nature of the soul, now I contemplate, means reflective thought process, and after contemplation I meditate and I go within myself and I enjoy the supersensuous bliss of the liberated soul. And with that thing, when he's totally gets engrossed within the self, that means he's going to obtain the fifth realms of existence, which is a liberated state. He uses certain adjective to describe this liberated state. He says that what is this liberated state about? So that's what he's describing. And he says that this liberated state, this Siddha Gati, is having the Dhruv, Achal, and Anupam. These are three adjective the author is using to describe the Siddha Gati, to describe the liberated soul state. Constancy, immutability, and incomparability. And we'll be going through those words. They are very important words he is using. Soul substance is eternal and constant in nature. Number one, soul substance is eternal and constant in nature, because it just doesn't change. It remains there as it is. When one contemplates on this eternal state, then one obtains purity and constancy in the mode. Means in my mode, what happens in my mode? My mode is always directed to the outside alien objects. Instead of now, I'm redirecting my attention to my pure nature of the soul. And when I'm doing that, then I obtain purity within me and also constancy in my mode also. Two constancies are described over here. Means constancy means the dhruta. Dhruv means immobility, and this immobility he describes from two different points, from substance perspective and from modal perspective. From substance perspective, the constancy means the soul is there forever in a pure state as a substance perspective. It's there all the time. The gold sitting in the mind is always pure, whether it's a gold sitting in the mind with the mixed with the dust, or gold in the ornaments, or gold in the form of pure coin that I have it. So gold is a gold. Same way, soul is a soul, whether it's in a nigod or whether it's in infernal life, or it is a human life, or in the Devgati. So everywhere soul remains constant. So that's a constancy from substance perspective. But even in the mode is for one samay. We remember one samay means in a blink of an eye, innumerable samay pass by. Innumerable means million, billion, trillion, quadrillion. Those are the countable number. Beyond that, so in blink of an eye, that many samay pass by, and each samay has a one mode in the soul. So this mode, when it comes one mode in one samay, that is also constant for that particular time. It is remaining. So it's a transiently constant, and substance perspective, it's permanently constant. So those are the constancy we describe. Even the mode is transient in nature. It has been said to have constancy. That's what we describe. True nature illuminated in the mode now will remain forever. Now I have put my attention, undivided attention, to my true nature of the soul. From the soul's perspective, now my attention is driven to the permanent, everlasting, immovable, a never-changing soul structure, then in my mode also I will obtain purity, and this purity will thereafter will remain forever. Four realms are constantly changing. If I'm in the infernal life, or I'm in human life, or I'm in subhuman life, or I'm in a heavenly life, they keep on changing. For time infinite, I keep on changing my realms of existence all the time. But the fifth realm, fifth realm of existence, which is the Siddhagati, it remains permanency in nature, and it never changes. So 4 realms are changing, and fifth realm, which is Siddhagati, never change. It remains permanent forever. So this now the author also start describing the other philosophies that he refutes some of the philosophies that they believe that Lord is taking birth again when there is misery on the earth and everything. It says, if you consider liberated soul as a quote unquote Lord, he remains in a constant place, he remains in permanent state, he never takes birth again. And if he's taking birth again, that means he's one of the 4 realms of existence. And so this refutes this theory of the other philosophies. And this adjective is from positive perspective affirmation. Dhruv means constant. This is my nature. My nature is constancy. I am in constant nature since time infinite. In the lowest form of life, Nigod, I had a soul which was there. Now my soul is here. My soul will be there in next Gati. And when I go to Siddhagati, my soul will remain there forever. So this sentence, Dhruv, the word Dhruv, constancy, is from the positive affirmation. Now we are going to the next word called immutable, Achal. Achal means what? The fifth realm has discarded transmigration. All 4 realms of existence, human, subhuman, hellish or heavenly soul, they are called transmigratory soul. They keep on going from one gati to second, until to third, to the fourth, to first. They keep on transmigrating. But this Siddhagati is in which the transmigration is discarded. Since time infinite in the past, there was transmigration due to instrumental cause of material karma as alien inclination. It's very important word over here. Well, how did the transmigration occur in me? Transmigration occurred within me because of my soul alone, and nobody else was responsible. Yes, the karma fruition was present, but it was present only as an instrumental cause. Remember, we just said instrumental cause, nimit. Until we had that word understood completely, we keep on getting confused. Nimit means instrumental cause. Instrumental cause is present in any act, but does not take part in the reaction of that act. For example, a book is present in front of me. The book is an instrumental cause only if I open and read that book. That book is sitting over here on my table for last so many months and so many years, and I never opened, so it never became instrumental cause. Only instrumental cause, that book will occur when I do my principal cause of action of reading. So when I do the action, then associated positive surrounding situation are called instrumental cause. I have the light in my room over here, which is there, for example, 24 hours. Now, is it instrumental cause for me when I'm not here? No. Only when I want to sit down, I want to read the book, then this light becomes instrumental cause. So instrumental cause is present in the act but does not do anything. Just because light is present, light has not done anything to me. It's simply present. Fish is in the water. Fish is swimming in the water. Fish is swimming because of its own capacity. Water has just produced vehicle for the fish to swim. Just by fish swimming in the water, water's temperature does not go down, temperature doesn't go up, water level does not go down, water level does not go up, water remains as water and fish remains as fish. When fish is swimming, then water is called to be nimit, water is called to be instrumental cause for that act. So having that thing clear to us, so my transmigration occurs because of myself. My transmigration occurs because of myself, and at that time, material karma are present as an instrumental cause. Simply that's it. For example, it's a winter time and I'm wearing a jacket right now. Now, that means it should be cold, right? Yes. So when I look at a thermometer, thermometer says it's a 55 degree or 60 degree. So thermometer simply gives me the number, but my feeling, and I knew that it should be cold, so temperature should be low, and thermometer showed, yes, it's low. Thermometer is not going to show me right now 80 degree. So thermometer is like an instrumental cause. It just, or fruition of the karma is simply like thermometer. It just shows the condition. It doesn't do anything. So here I am, transmigration occurs because of me, and instrumental cause is material karma. So we have to know the karma, but again, karma has limited actions and they cannot do anything to me unless I desire to be part of that problem. So that we have to be careful. In fifth realm of Siddha, there is no material karma present because there is total purity of the Siddha Bhagwan soul is there. Liberated soul is totally free of any, totally free and engrossed, total engrossment in his own pure nature. And because there is a pure engrossment in the pure nature, that there is no material karma present. The material karmas are not associated with one, and so that dissociation is there completely. So there is no instrumental cause present for Siddha Bhagwan. The Bhagwan's purity is because of himself only. There is no instrumental cause. Presence or absence of karma do not play any part in that fifth gati, in the Bhagwan's gati. Now the Siddha Bhagwan's means this liberated soul's condition has become immutable state. Immutable state means there will never be transmigration again. Achal. Achal means, chal means to move around. Achal means not to move around. So this is immutable state has occurred. And achal word is used here to denote absence of transmigration. And this adjective is from negative affirmation because the absence of transmigration, so it's a negative affirmation. So it's called Nasti statement, negative affirmation. And in the Dhruv statement, when we said that this is the Suddha Bhagwan, the soul's true nature is to remain in its own pure form, and when that form is obtained, then it's called Dhruv state, which was from positive affirmation, which was from Asti statement. Now, Achal is there is no presence of transmigration. That's why it's called negative affirmation. So Dhruv and Achal, we just saw 2 points. Now we are coming to the Anupam, incomparable state. Incomparable means what? Nothing in the universe can be compared to the fifth realm of existence. For example, if I have pen over here, well, this pen is lousy pen compared to this pen, for example. Okay, so now I can compare 2 things. This phone is better than Atul Bhai's phone, for example, sitting over here. So there is something you can compare. My house is better than yours. My car is better than yours. My health is worse than yours. All those things I can compare. Every worldly thing can be compared with the other things. But fifth realms of existence means the Siddhagati cannot be compared with anything else. It is just indescribable. It is incomprehensible. It just one has to experience, and there is nothing to compare with. And that's why it's called Anupam. So these are three adjectives Acharya Bhagwan is using. This Siddhagati is Dhruva, Achala, and Anupam. These three adjectives that he described. So liberated souls are like liberated souls only. You cannot compare with them. No worldly things can be compared with the liberated souls. From certain perspective, mutually there is some similarity seen in the worldly things, but nothing can be compared with this incomparable state of liberated state. It's not true for fifth realm of existence of eternal emancipation. So it is not true means nothing can be compared with the eternal emancipation state, because it is by its nature, it's unique of its own, and nothing can be compared. Anupam. So, having said that, emancipation from bodily existence upward. Now, there is one more word Kunkun Swami uses, is called apavarga. What is that thing means? The four types of personal effort one performs in the human lila, in a living being. Every living being performs four types of personal effort. Auspicious inclination called dharma, collection of wealth is called artha, sensual pleasure of worldly objects is called kam, and emancipation means moksha. Dharma, artha, kam, moksha. These are the four types of activity, personal efforts one makes in the life, out of which first three, that means dharma, artha, and kam, auspicious inclination, collection of wealth, and sensual pleasure of the worldly object. Those three things are called group of three, means three varga. They are called three varga, means group of three. And fourth one is called emancipation of soul from bodily existence. That is called apavarga. So this is one more adjective that the author is doing it in for us. Apavarga is free from auspicious and inauspicious inclination, material wealth, and sensual pleasure of the worldly object. So remember those three things. This is the dharma, this is the artha, and this is kam. Apavarga is free from all these three things, and it is unique of its own. Liberated soul have obtained this state, means if a liberated soul has obtained this apavarga, means if liberated soul has obtained emancipation from bodily existence. So that's an apavarga. Author says that he has established this type of emancipation state of constancy, immutable, incomparable, and apavarga in him, as well as in the worthy listeners mode. Worthy listeners are more important. Worthy listener means the one who wants to understand, who wants to liberate himself, who has now started his personal effort to get rid of this transmigration. And those kind of worthy souls that Kunkun Swami says that I'm establishing Siddha Bhagwan in your mode also. I'm establishing Siddha Bhagwan in my mode and in your mode also. Now, then to describe subject encompassing all angle means now I'm going to describe everything. Omniscient Lord preached the word Samay. Samay means, remember, Samay means this is the first stanza we are talking. Second stanza has totally different meaning of Samay will be coming. So let's get used to this word Samay. Omniscient Lord preached the word Samay. Samay means all the substances of the universe, that called Samay also. And at the same time, true nature of the soul is also called Samay. Now, here, when we are talking Samaysar, when we are talking Samay, means we are talking true nature of the soul only, and that will be our narrow vision for that. We are not going to worry about all the universal substances. We just concentrate on our true nature of the soul, and that is Samay. I, author, am going to describe part of the vast literature as propagated by Omniscient Lord. Omniscient Lord gave a vast literature. How did he give the literature? Omniscient Lord did not speak a word. Remember, Omniscient Lord means if we just take 24 Tirthankars and out of which the 24th one, Mahaviswami, let's talk Mahaviswami, that he's sitting in the Samosaran, he's sitting in the assembly of the Lord, and now in the center of the assembly, he's sitting on the throne, and 4 times a day from his body, whole entire body, Omkar comes out. He just says Om, that's it. Omkar Dhvani comes out. And when the Gandhar Bhagwan, the first disciples are sitting, then they automatically will understand the meaning of this Omkar Dhvani, and from their own mind they will create 12 anga, 12 canons, 12 original literatures. So these are the things that Omniscient Lord's Omkar Dhvani comes out, and then the Gandhar Bhagwan, he understands. Out of what he understands, he makes the verses, and these verses are transmitted with an oral tradition in a lineage of the Acharya Bhagwan. And it lasted for about 300 to 400 to 500 years. And when Kunkun Swami came, that oral literature lineage was breaking down, and now there was need for the written words. So now, first time, Kunkun Swami started writing those scriptures, and those writing scriptures was in a palm leaf, dried palm leaf. With a palm needle, he will take the leaf in his hand, and from the needle on the other hand, he will just make the holes in the palm leaf, and he started writing that way. So it is vast literature of the Omniscient Lord that he started describing that way. I have not obtained liberation, that author says. Therefore, going to describe only part of the scripture, because if I have obtained liberation, then I understand whole canons of literature. But I'm going to give the lack of better words, we can just say meat part of the scriptures. What is the most essential part of the scripture? That's what I'm going to describe for me and for my listeners. Now, why I'm describing, he says, Kunkun Swami said, I'm describing this literature, I'm writing this one, I'm writing these verses. Why I'm doing it? Because I want to cut down the inclination of attachment and aversion. Remember, this is the monk on 6th and 7th Gunsthanak. On 7th Gunsthanak, he has a total engrossment of his true nature of the self. And in the 6th Gunsthanak, then he comes out because he has a asthirta, means his instability type of inclinations. That's called asthirtano rag. This instability part, when he's there, to stay away from the bad thoughts and useless thinking, he will start writing the scriptures. So he will remain in concentrated form and does not waste his mind to the useless things. So this is called instability type of inclinations to remove. And that's why we start describing this scripture. Now, at the same time, Kun Swami says that by me writing this one, this will also help listener like us to remove our infatuation and our inclination of attachment and aversion. What are we doing right now? We are discussing, we are doing Swadhay, we are talking Samaysar. Do we have any other ideas going on right now? No, we have our undivided attention to discussion of ourselves, and that way we try to stay away from our infatuated state and rag and dvesh and everything, or we reduce our inclination of attachment and aversion as much as possible just by listening and getting engrossed in the scriptural reading and listening and all the things. So that's why he said that I'm going to describe subject encompassing all angle, means paribhashan. I'm going to give you exact, the author says, I'm going to give you a description of the Samaysar, description of the soul from all different angles. And it will be mind-boggling fact that Kun Swami has really in 2 lines in each stanza, he really gave intense amount of information. And we are extremely fortunate that after 1,000 years, Amrit Chandracharya, he wrote down commentary on it, and we are again super fortunate that Gurudev Kanji Swami really analyzed and put all those things in our own words, in our own form that we can understand. So this Kun Swami's paribhashan, this encompassing all angles of this soul, has done tremendous service to us, and that is really a great thing for us. Now, what is the nature of the scripture? Nature of the scripture, did Kun Swami create it just like that, out of thin air? No. It's been illuminated since time infinite in the past. These scriptures are there, oral tradition and written tradition. Since time infinite, it's been illuminated in the past. Supreme word revealing truthfulness of all objects. Supreme words revealing truthfulness of all objects means it's called Sabda Brahm, is also present since time infinite. So these words are also present, the scriptures are present, words are present, and the propagator of these words means the propagator of the Sabda Brahm is a supreme soul, which is called Param Brahma, which is called Omniscient Lord, is also present since time infinite. There is not a single time that there was no supreme soul. All the time, infinite supreme souls were present. All the time, omniscient lords were present. So, for example, when we do the Nandiswadip Pujan, 3 times a year, there are Ashtanika Parva comes. In Ashtanika Parva, there is an eighth island, which is called Nandiswadip. We are in the center island, which is called Jambudvip. Jambudvip, then Datkika, then Pushkarvadvip, there's a 3rd, and then 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th one is a Nandishwardip. And in Nandishwardip, 3 times a year, heavenly angels, they go and for 8 days they celebrate Ashtanika Parva. So same thing we are also doing over here, and we also go to temple and all, we do the religious activity and all the things. So in Ashtanika Parva, when they go there, the temples are there. These temples are Shashvat. Shashvat means eternal temples are there. And in those eternal temples, the Murti of the Bhagwan is eternal Murti also. So statues are eternal also. So will that statue be of Mahavishwami or Swami or Rishabdev Swami, or whose statue will be there? Well, Rishabdev and Mahavishwami and Simandar Swami, they are now in this time cycle. But when we talk infinite time cycle in the past, that means those infinite time cycle and infinite liberated souls occur, infinite supreme soul occur, and this Mantradeep will have the statue of the Lord, which is eternal in nature. There won't be any particular name on the statue. It's simply there. Eternal statues are there. Eternal temples are there. Eternal statues are there. And the heavenly angels will do the puja and bhakti there. Now, Kunkun Acharya says that I'm going to describe Samaysar, in which the subject encompasses from all the angles, from the modal perspective, from substantial perspective, from absolute perspective, from conventional perspective. I'm going to describe. And he has done an absolutely fantastic job. If we can digest 12, 13, 14, 16 stanza, first 16 stanza of Samaysar, whole detail comes out in the first 16 stanza, and thereafter in his expansion. But he expands in a fantastic way to explain to us real nature of the soul, and we understand that way. So it's on this basis of the scripture as propagated by Omniscient Lord since time infinite. So this scripture that I'm writing, that's what Kunkun Swami says, is propagated by Omniscient Lord since time infinite, and I'm just simply writing those things in the modern form. Now, he said that what is the authenticity of the scripture? How can I say that this scripture is authentic? So he talks about Omniscient Lord in a given moment knows the whole universe without getting involved in it. Now, this point that we are talking is from conventional perspective. Omniscient Lord, actually, he's truly engrossed in his own pure nature. He doesn't do anything else. But while he is truly engrossed in his own nature, from the whole universe gets reflected in his knowledge mode. Remember, the whole universe is present, right? And whole universe is present, and at that whole universe gets reflected in the Bhagwan's mode. For example, there's a mirror. In the front of the mirror, there's a fire, mirror will show fire. There's a bunch of ice, a bunch of snow, the mirror will show the snow. Mirror will not become snow, mirror will not become fire. It just have reflection of the snow and fire in the mirror. Similarly, Omniscient Lord's knowledge mode is also like a mirror. The whole universe gets reflected in it. And that's what conventional perspective, we are just saying that Omniscient Lord in a given moment knows the whole universe without getting involved in it. Mirror does not get involved with the fire or the snow. Same way, Omniscient Bhagwan's mode does not get involved in the universal substances. It just reflects, the whole things are reflected in his mode. Now, direct principle or direct disciple of the Omniscient Lord, there's a Gandhar Devadi, are known as pictorial omniscience, Sutta Kevali. See, this one, this is called Kevali Bhagwan. This is called Omniscient Lord. These guys are called Sutta Kevali, means they are direct disciple of the Omniscient Lord. That's why they are called Sutta Kevali. Then, this Sutta Kevali, they also know the true nature of the soul as it is. Why? Because Omniscient Lord gave the Divya Dhvani, Omkar Dhvani, the Gandhar Bhagwan, they heard. When they heard, they understood exactly what that Divya Dhvani means. And so they also knew the true nature of the soul as it is. And Omniscient Lord delivers the sermons in the form of Omkar Dhvani. Sutta Kevali understands and experiences their eternal true nature of the self. And Kunkun Swami says that he directly listened the sermon from the Omniscient Lord in the form of divine sound, Divya Dhvani. And to clear the doubt, he also discussed with the scriptural omniscience, means the Sutta Kevali, Kunkun Swami said that I also experienced my true nature of the self, and then he writes the scripture. So he just simply doesn't write the scripture from his imagination. He heard it from the omniscient Lord. He discussed with the Sutta Kevali. Then Kunkun Swami also experienced the same thing in his own self. Then he writes scripture. Therefore, he says this scripture is an authentic scripture, and this is contrast to other who wrote from their imagination without any support from the omniscient Lord. So these are the things it describes the authenticity of the scripture. So here we are up to the Tika, means up to the explanation given by Amrit Chandracharya, that we came to know in the real nature of the soul, that Kunkun Swami is basically giving the Mangalacharan, basically giving invocation of blessings, and in which it says, I bow down to Siddha Bhagwan, means I'm going to talk about Siddha Bhagwan, means I'm going to talk about liberated soul, means I'm going to talk about the pure nature of the soul in the scripture. That kind of information he is giving us in the first stanza. And he says, if you want to listen to this more, go for the next slide and next one and next one and next one. If you're not interested, get out from this first stanza onwards, because this is not your cup of tea. You want to liberate yourself, you want to understand true nature of the self, you want to experience the true nature of the self, then this is the scripture to understand, to digest, to listen to that, and that's what it is. So here we are coming to the end of the hour, and next week we will make sure that we'll finish the Bhavarth and we'll go to the next stanza thereafter. Any questions so far?
This is not a question, but it's just a, when they in the first stanza with Dhruva Chala Anupama, that reminds me. I know it's not the same thing, but it reminds me of I don't know what line it is, but Srimad Rajendra writes Ajar Amar Avinash. I think he's discussing Nirviktop Dasa, but that's what it reminds me of.
In fact, if you just go through Atmasiddhi, Suddha Buddha Chaitanya Gan Swayam Jyoti Sukhatam Biju Kaye Ketlu Kar Vichar Doka, Suddha Buddha Chaitanya Gam Swayam Jyoti, all those things, and also Shamapna, there's 7 things comes right in Shamapna. Trilok Prakashak, all those things coming. So that's also they're talking about real nature of the soul only. Everybody, there is a saying that if you take infinite Gnani Purush, they will talk in the unison only. They talk only one voice only. And one Agnani, he will have 1,000 different ways. He will talk different things, and he will screw it up beyond repair. So this is the beauty of the Gnani Purush, that they give us all this information to us in a nutshell to understand what the things are.
So Achal same as Nitya.
Huh?
Achal same as Nitya.
No, Achal means Nitya also. You can just
Nitya is same thing, right?
Nitya is same thing, yeah. Achal means because Chal means transmigration, so Achal means non-transmigration. So that's why it's from negative affirmation, Yeah. All right. One of my good friend, he's Atul Bhai Gosalia. He's sitting over here, so he just asked question about Achal. He said Achal means Nitya, and yes, Achal means Nitya, but over here Achal means author wants to say. Chal means transmigration, Achal means non-transmigration, means beyond transmigration, and that's why it's called negative affirmation, All right. Okay, so we will meet again next Wednesday, and meanwhile we'll just complete these things over here. ज्ञावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक, सो वाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ ढोक. 9 times नमो का मंत्र. Jai Jinendra, everybody. Thank you.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Bikram.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to back.
Thank you, Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.